Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us this June 8th, 2022. That we come every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time to talk about U.S. immigration, answering your questions live with general educational commentary, not case-specific guidance. Can't do that unless we talk in private and go over the whole case. But we would come here every Wednesday for almost 2.5 years to talk with you about what's going on in immigration. So we're live on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, all these different places. Hundreds of people come in and out of the room, and we just try to answer your questions. For those tuning in live, and people are still trickling in, so I want to let you know that we do provide free video consultations for those who are watching a live show, and they like, subscribe, and they write consultation in the description, what is it called, the comment section. My wonderful assistant Katrina will pick some person every 10 minutes for the next 30 minutes and announce that they won a free 15-minute video consultation. So if you want to get in on that, just get started right now. Announce your name in 10 minutes. We have a lot of winners and a lot of happy people with this. Secondly, if you're interested in a marriage green card case, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It breaks everything down, 40 plus pages. Just go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's marriageimmigrationlaw.com and download it there. If you're trying to learn about the EB-1A Extraordinary Ability Green Card, we're doing a weekly seminar called the EB-1A Extraordinary Playbook, where we break down the A through Z of the process in a private seminar. It's free, but you just got to register by emailing me that you're interested in. It's about 45 minutes long, breaks it all down. I think you'll enjoy it. Having said all that, let's get the program started. All right, so we already have a couple of questions. Omari asks, I'm divorced permanent resident. Please let me know how it's going to impact my naturalization application when I apply after 5 years. Well, Mar, I don't know if the bachelor is too case specific. Now, if you obtained your green card based on marriage and you immediately divorce right afterwards, well, it doesn't look good. You should be able to document, the relationship, but I don't know exactly what's going on in your case and where you're at in it to be able to say how it's going to impact or not impact. People could get divorced. It's not a problem, but I don't know enough about your individual situation, so I can't answer that. I think we got a couple questions on Instagram. Malik asked, is SVU sensitive on unclassified information publicly accessible? So sometimes when you contact the government, especially the Department of State, and they release some information, at the bottom it writes SVU sensitive but unclassified. And yes, is this information publicly accessible? Not generally publicly acceptable. There are ways for people to do Freedom of Information Act requests, to do specific lawsuits or something to get that information, but it just means it's not classified information that they cannot release to the public. That's all it means. Usually someone has to really work hard to be able to get that, and that's that. Tara says, hello to you too, Tara. Good to see you. We have another question from Byron. Hi, John. My A file has been transferred to local field office from the National Record Center on May 31st. I want to know how long does it take to reach the field office and schedule an interview? There's no timeline. That's really depending on the schedule of the officer who receives your file and when they want to schedule it. There's no fixed time on any of this stuff. I'm guessing you have a citizenship case. You're just going to have to wait to see when they're ready, and that's about it. On Instagram, Tara asked, my green card was updated to new card being produced, then changed to reopen today. What does that mean? It's not clear. You should wait for notification. Essentially, when green card is being produced, means you've been approved and your green card is being issued. But if they change to reopen, it could be just a glitch and they press the wrong button and they'll fix that up. Or it could be they reopen your case because they're worried if there's an error in there that you need to fix. So it could be really bad, or it could be a technical error. And I've had it before when they put the wrong thing on the website and they said that kind of stuff. So that could be just nonsense and it's not a big deal, but it could be really bad. I just don't know. I'd have to see what they say when they send you a letter update on it. We have a question from Carla. Does it really take 15 months to replace an I-94? I don't typically replace I-94. It doesn't pop up too much, but it could take a long time. Depending on how you want to use it, potentially, I-94 is a record of entry into the United States. And when you apply for certain things like changing status or adjustment of status, you need to have that I-94. There are alternatives to proving lawful entry, but if you need that I-94, you have to file a specific form, pay a fee for it. I haven't checked the processing times for it. You say it's 15 months, but you could file it with the applications and they'll put it together. But you really got to back it up and see whether you even need the I-94. Maybe you can use an entry stamp, flight records, all this different kind of stuff you've used depending on what you're trying to use it for. So it's something you need to talk with the attorney in private about to see what's going on with that. On Instagram, Malik asks, someone complained to U.S. Embassy about someone I know. Do officers tell who complained? Not necessarily. They do whatever they want to do. Tony Maru, one of our regulars. Tony, good to see you. Hi, John. I had my interview last week and was issued a 221G advanced parole, not advanced parole, administrative processing, followed by an email the next day with a DS-5535. Officer kept my passport, visa, IR1. What's your feedback on this? How much time processing? Thanks always. So, Tony, good to see you. Well, glad the interview is done. Now, administrative processing, it means they need to do extra work on your case, research or something like that. They're vague on it many times, but they kept your passport. Usually has a good sign, but not always. They may just return your passport with no visa. The form DS-550 is part of the extreme vetting that President Trump started. It kind of started before him, where they ask you a bunch of questions about social media, where you travel, your siblings. I think it was pre-Trump even. And so you got to fill that out, send it to them in the method that they requested, and then wait. And it's not clear at all when it's going to be approved or not approved or how long it's going to take. There's no answer to that. What we typically do is, and I don't do lawsuits myself, but if 6 months goes by, we recommend clients in most cases, to see your individual case, so in most cases, to file a lawsuit against the government for the delay, and that most of the time fixes it up. Again, everything is most of the time, maybe this and that, and nothing's guaranteed, and we really have to dive in deep into your case to see if there's something bad that exists that we got to deal with. But fortunately, once you get to administrative processing, anything's possible. There's no fixed times on any of that. Mandy on Instagram asked, my mom lived more than 5 years in the United States. She doesn't speak English. How to get citizenship? Well, if she has a green card application, a green card, and she had 5 years, she applies. If she has a mental condition, a mind condition that prevents her from learning English, if she's had a green card for a longer period of time, like 10, 15, 20 years, and she's above a certain age, maybe they'll forgive it. There's different ways to go about it, but it's tough to waive the English language requirement. What I found is even if people's English aren't good, they could do well enough to pass a test. So the best thing to do is just practice. Another question on Instagram, Malik asks, how long does it take me for an I-751? I applied in December 2021. It takes anywhere from 6 to 24 months on average. It's a pretty wide range. If you could file for citizenship, I would do that in the meantime. All right, next question. Wolf asks, hello, can you teach me how to get a green card? Well, I have thousands of videos on YouTube that go over all this stuff. You want to come to America if you're Ron, I love you, America. God bless you. But there's hundreds and hundreds of videos here. You're from Iran. I have a detailed video in Farsi. That's 2 videos, part 1, part 2. That's an hour and a half that explains it all. So all you got to do is find the video and you're set. And if you want to have a private consultation, just email the office. We'll go to the next question. Kumar asks, my case was approved from National Visa Center 8 months ago. They send me every 2 months emails saying to wait. Yeah, unfortunately, once the National Visa Center approves, the document totally qualifies the case, saying the stuff you have is okay, the documents presented is okay, and that we're going to move the case to the embassy. It's not clear how long it's going to take until the embassy actually does the interview. It really depends on their processing times and how backed up they are on this kind of stuff. So sometimes you got to wait. I've had cases wait over a year or a year and a half, even 2 years to get an interview. It could be longer. It just gets worse and worse. Unfortunately, that's the only answer there is right now to that. Ash asks, I'm a winner in diversity visa 2021. I sent my DS-260 to the KCC, but due to COVID, I couldn't get the interview. Is there a problem if I apply to J1 research visa as a medical student? Yeah, it could be a problem. Let's see. If I don't understand exactly what happened. So you missed out on diversity visa lottery, you didn't get an interview. That means that case is done. If that's the case, then that's that. If you apply for J1 visa as a medical student, you could always do that. If you're approved and they issue the visa and you come to the United States, J1 for medical student automatically has what's called the 2-year home residency requirement. So let's say you're in the United States and you win the green card lottery again, you cannot get the green card unless you've go back to your home country and wait 2 years and then get it, and diversity visa will be done by then. You'll have to get another way to get a green card. Or alternatively, you ask for a waiver, which is difficult to do, and you got to get in a timely fashion. So, talk with a lawyer in private to learn the pros and cons of a J1. See if you can get an F1 student visa instead, depending on what kind of program you're doing. But it has repercussions, and complex repercussions. It's hard to understand, so it's best to talk with a lawyer in private. I'm going to take a couple questions on Instagram. Let's see. Mandy says, only lived in 5 years and knowing how to read. Sorry, it's going to be tough. Rochelle says, any updates about marriage-based green card renewals pending since February? I'm expecting a 10-year after 2-year one expired. Yeah, you just got to wait. Think about filing for citizenship. Malik says, thanks a lot for giving answers of my question. You're the best. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Malik, for following us on Instagram. The Instagram page, JK Logic, definitely check it out. All right, next question. BD asks, 17-year-old U.S. citizen in Mexico, passport expired, wants to travel back to U.S. alone to visit. Is that possible? Yeah, just contact the U.S. Embassy, renew the passport, and that's about it. You got to renew your passport. That's it. Let's say one of our regulars, good to see you. Hi, John. I filed my I-130 since June 3rd, 2021. And it's being processed at the California Service Center, which takes 9 months to process. I sent an inquiry since March. Haven't heard anything since. Allison, I can't recall. Are you a U.S. citizen or a green card holder? If you're a green card holder, it's going to take longer. You know, at the end of the day, the government's going to process things as they want to. So we have marriage cases done in 4 or 5 months, average 8 or 9 months. Sometimes they go a year, and it's just kind of all over the place. So unfortunately, that's it. One note, Ash, my wonderful assistant Katrina named you as our winner for our free video consultation. Thank you for participating. What I need you to do is take a screenshot of where you're watching this so I can see your username. I know it's you, and email me at info@jqqlaw.com, and we can discuss your question in private in more detail. For those just tuning in, we give away free video consultations. We have 2 more giveaways in 10 minutes and 20 minutes. All you got to do is like and subscribe if you're watching a live show, and comments and consultation. And my wonderful assistant Katrina, in 10 minutes and 20 minutes, will name another winner of the free video consultation. That's all you got to do. And if you're interested in learning about marriage immigration, the best thing to do to start with is to download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It's a 40-plus page guide, free, that just breaks everything down so you have a strategy going forward. Before you even talk with a lawyer, you know what's going on and how they can help you. We'll go to the next question. Carlo asks, I need it so my son can petition for me. He's in the Army and just turned 21. Lost original passport with my I-94. I did pay all the fees to immigrate for a replacement. So if your son's in the Army, you can do a thing called parole in place anyway, so that'll suffice for I-94. But yeah, you got to get the I-94. There's other ways. I mean, if you have other proof, you have a ticket or something like that, that works. You will need to renew your passport. But Carla, there's other ways, and it's a pretty complex thing. There's parole in place that may or may not be needed. There's a thing called a matter of Kilantan that says even if you don't have your I-94, if you have other proof of lawful entry, you could use that. So if you flew into the United States, for example, you could use that or have other proof. It's possible. I prefer to have the I-94, but you could file for adjustment of status with the request for I-94, get the ball rolling, or just do as you did. You can maybe do a CBP FOIA as well. That may be faster. So there's a lot going on, Carla. These are kind of things that you shouldn't do on your own. Really should hire a lawyer or talk to a lawyer about this kind of stuff. So let me take a couple of questions on Instagram. Malik says, do we have to inform the Social Security office once you become a green card holder, permanent resident? So it is recommended that you do that once you get your green card, to update the Social Security office that you are a green card holder, primarily because the Social Security card you have before getting the green card, if you have one, says that restrictions apply. It says on there that you can't do every job. And if you get an employer that's going to read that, even though you have a green card, they may get confused and not realize that they can hire you. So it's better to update Social Security office. It might affect how much money you save for Social Security and stuff too. But importantly, just get a new card that says you're a green card holder. And later on, when you become a citizen, it's better to update them too. It's always better to update Social Security office as to your status once you're a green card holder, and later on once you're a citizen. That's a good thing to do. Kamari follows up. Thank you. I appreciate your advice. You're good. You're welcome, Kamari. I appreciate coming on the show. Thank you. Oakland asks, can you tell me how long it's going to take time through the employment-based green card? So that question is unanswerable because there's 5 different employment-based green card categories, each with their own subcategories. Not each, but most of them, except for one of them, it could be 5. And it depends on which country you're from, which process you're doing, if you're doing premium processing or not, if your case has issues. It's impossible to answer that question. It's just too case specific as to what you're doing. So fortunately, there's no way you can answer that question. But thanks for asking anyways. Pedro and Andrew on a regular says, is the 240-day rule in effect for worker visas if a timely filed extension has been filed? Is there a grace period for visa holders who can't find a new employer, extend their stay to find a new job? Just 2 different questions in there at the same time. One is the 240-day rule says that, let's say you're here on a work visa, like an L or an H or something like that, and you're about to expire, but you request an extension. If you timely file an extension request, you can work up to 240 days, even though your status has ended, until the case decision is made. If it's denied, then you got to stop working, you got to leave. But if it's approved, then it makes it fine. And after 240 days, you got to stop. But the second part of your question, you say, is there a grace period for visa holders who can't find a new employer or extend their stay to find a new job? That's different. So the first question was, if you have a job and you file an extension of that same job, okay, that's that. You could work for some time. But if you lose your job, there is a discretionary rule that they added about 3 or 4 years ago that said once your job ends, or the faster when your I-94 ends, or when your job, let me back that up. So once your job ends, let's say you're fired on an H-1B visa, they created a discretionary 60-day grace period. We have time to find a new employer or change jobs or that kind of stuff. It's 60 days, or if your I-94 expires, whichever sooner. But it's a note that's kind of weird in there that it's discretionary. So they could just not give you that 60 days after you file to use it, but typically they do. Like I have a case right now. Someone after got fired decided to go to school, and they're doing change of status, and we have 60 days to get that together, and we're that change of status to student visas pending. So these are a couple of complex kind of questions that you asked, but hopefully that helped. Let me go to Instagram really quickly. I have a couple of questions here. Mike follows up. Can you apply for citizenship 3 months before completing 3 years with a green card through marriage? Yeah, typically you can file 90 days sooner than a 3 or 5 year mark. As long as you satisfy all the other requirements, for example, physical presence requirements and all that kind of stuff, that is possible. Tina asks, how are you dealing with the court dismissals on asylum lately? Do you have any idea how to go about that after, let's say, for the I-665, after a dismissal? No, Tina, I do not handle, my firm does not handle removal proceedings, deportation cases, and asylum cases. So it's not something I advise on, because it's just not something that my office handles. So thank you for your question. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to help you with that. Okay, next question is Arch asks, hey there, John, good to see you. Good to see you. Is there an expedite option for work travel permit? What's your experience with them? Yeah, by work travel permit, I'm guessing you mean you have a green card case pending, you apply for employment authorization, advanced parole. The employment authorization is coming pretty fast recently, within like 4 to 6 weeks in most of my cases. So there's no point in trying to expedite the work permit. Travel permission taking 8 or 9 months in a lot of cases. So yeah, there is an expedite option. Almost everything with immigration, with USCIS, and just immigration in general, has an expedite option. Depending on various factors, the government made an error, if there's a government need for it, or if there's a humanitarian purpose. And my experience pre-Trump was 100%. I'd always get these expedited. We just got to get some good facts, but it always worked. After that, it's become very difficult to do. I just helped somebody who's actually a viewer who just was watching, and she left her attorney and is working with me now. I've been helping her out, and she had a situation. Her attorney said we can't do anything, and I told her, okay, you got to call USCIS, request an expedite, explain to them what the reason is that she didn't expedite. In her case, a close relative was sick and needed her help, and they wrapped it up in a few weeks. She got her advanced parole travel permit and was able to travel, so it was really good. We want to announce a raffle winner off Instagram. Malik, you ask, how can I meet you in person about a consultation? I live in New York. Well, I don't do in-person consultations, all by video. But in your case, my wonderful assistant Katrina has named you as our winner for our second raffle for today. All you got to do is take a screenshot so I can see your username, and that is you, wherever you're watching this, and email to me at info@jqqlaw.com. That's info@jqqlaw.com. And I'll schedule a free 15-minute video consultation. If more time is needed, we can schedule more Zoom content. It's a paid consultation, but a Zoom, but hopefully we get everything answered in that 15 minutes. For those just tuning in the live program, if you just like and subscribe and write consultation, wherever you can write a message, a wonderful assistant will name somebody, and we'll give free consultation. We give 3 away each session. We got 1 more. We give 2 already. 1 to Ash and 1 to Malika. In about 10 minutes or so, we'll name the 3rd winner of a free video consultation. And also, if you're interested in a marriage green card case, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, or fiancé visa case too, at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It's the ultimate guide that really breaks everything down for free, 40+ pages of strategy, and break down the forms and what's important, what's not. And it's going to be really helpful. Everyone's read it. People email me all the time saying, I can't believe it. You helped me through the process with this guide. I appreciate it. So I love it. So hopefully you get access to that. Let's jump to the next question. Alessandra says, I applied as a U.S. citizen, but it's saying being reviewed. You just got to wait for your I-130 is. I mean, you can complain. U.S. citizen cases, probably 8 to 10 months going to be approved, but it's up to USCIS. Maverick asks, how to check, confirm if USCIS has received the address change submitted online. Well, when you submit it online, you should have received by email a confirmation number, and then a couple weeks later, they usually send you a letter in the mail. They don't always do it. If you're really worried, you could call them. There's a problem with changing addresses. So if you have a case pending with USCIS, The format for updating address if you move is going online and completing Form AR-11. That's what you're supposed to do. Not supposed to call in, not supposed to mail it in. You can do that old school fashion, but you have to do both, call and mail at the same time. But it's so much easier, just do it online with Form AR-11 online form. But what we see is, for example, if you have a marriage green card case that has an interview in the United States and you move, even if you update your address about 10%, 20% of the time, that change of address system doesn't update the proper places, and they'll send you an interview notice to the previous address. So that kind of stuff pops up. It's one of the good reasons to have a lawyer, because any message that you get, the lawyer gets as well. So if you miss a message, especially in a part one, like an interview date, a lawyer gets and they can notify you. But that's that. So if you're really worried about it, wait 30 days and call USCIS to confirm. Just because they say they have it doesn't mean they're gonna not mess it up. So unfortunately, there's some percentage of cases that get messed up. It's baked into the cake. Carla Popper says, I'll reach out to you tomorrow. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Just send an email. We'll take it from there. Sonia Patricia Arroyo asks, my case is F2A petition for my husband, and my daughter has a derivative. Under 21 petition was submitted. Power date May 29, 2020, California Service Center. They are not in the U.S. They are in Peru. Our case is with the NBC. Hope soon. Our case is with it. Hope soon can request expedite due to aging out of my daughter. She is protected on a CISPA until USA approves the case. So if your case is with USCIS, it's not with the National Visa Center. So your question is kind of confusing, Sonia. If it's with USCIS, you got to be pending. There will be a Child Status Protection Act that will protect your daughter. If once the I-130 is approved, you act on the case and pay the USCIS, the NBC fees, and that's a complete form DS-260 for your daughter. It's probably going to lock her in for age. So I'm not really worried about that per se. I need to see the paperwork myself, make sure it's done properly. But generally speaking, it's probably going to be locked in. Sometimes you can request expedites depending on the facts. I don't know if this is an expeditable kind of thing because your daughter's age is going to be locked in most likely. Again, I haven't seen the documents for myself. I can't give individual legal guidance. But that's that. Probably it's going to work out. That's to talk with the attorney in private to kind of make sure this stuff happens well. Molly follows up. Do I have to take my wife with me on a citizenship interview? Not unless there's an I-751 attached to that M400 citizenship application. Okay, John asks, hey bro, what's the percentage chance of getting a marriage green card after getting a denial and filing the second time? There's no percentage chance. That's not a good way to think about it. Each person has their own case. Depends on the facts, what the reason for the denial were. You got to review it. At the end of the day, it's in discretion of some random officer. So it's not, don't look at it as percentage chance. You just need to build up your case, have responses. Why would a marriage green card case be denied? That's very rare to happen. There's some serious mess up that happened there. So you got to see what the issue was. So just talk to her in private and don't think about chances per se. Think about how you're going to argue and fix things up that you messed up on. 29 Super CEO regulars. Good night, Attorney Kostrad. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. What is the best site to guide someone on filing their taxes? Unfortunately, I don't have much information on that. I've dealt with many accountants in my life. Almost all of them don't know what they're doing. So if an accountant doesn't know what they're doing, good luck on finding these websites. Unfortunately, I don't have much information. Just try to find a good accountant and good luck on that. US Monsoon asks, love you, your office owner called me saying she wish I know her name. Your size, sir. One lawyer called me from your office. She called me right time. Otherwise, I could live my green card. Monsoon, we don't call out to people. So you're probably mixing it up. It might be another firm, but it wouldn't be a lawyer from my office calling you. That almost never happens unless you're one of our clients. We're not going to call you. So there's some mistake here. It wasn't someone from our office. Someone maybe a fraud or misrepresenting to be us, and that happens a lot. Unfortunately, on Facebook and TikTok, there are a lot of accounts that are created with my name or our firm's name that commit fraud and say they're our firm. Definitely watch out for that. But with my office, we almost always, unless you just don't have access to a computer, then probably wouldn't take you as a client if you didn't, honest. But we always do video consultation. So you either see me or my associate Anya or my other associate Oasis in person. We don't do phone calls and stuff like that. So that's really important to know to avoid the fraud that's happening. John asked, hey, thanks. Artuni, thank you. You're welcome. Sonia asked, thank you for your response. My question is, can I request an expedite to NBC due to my daughter aging out? Is that a good reason for NBC to expedite? So not really. There's some formats where a person gets green cards where, yeah, it is a good reason because a child could age out. But if you have there's different green card categories of processes. Some of them don't have Child Status Protection Act baked into them. But if you have an I-130 pending for the child and they're going to be protected by the Child Status Protection Act, if that's the case, then I don't know why they would expedite. You give it a shot. Why not? Just ask, But there's no real reason for that to expedite, because you are protected as long as you do the steps. I'll just need to see what's going on with your case to see what's best on that. So, I keep talking about the Child Status Protection Act. Let me go into what that means. So, before like 2000, if you applied for your children while the case is pending, and some of these cases take 1 or 2 or 3 years or longer, if by the time the green card could be issued, the child's age is over 21, then that case would get canceled out. And it was affecting a lot of people in a really bad way. And most of it is because USCIS has taken so long with the I-130 processing, the family-based petition. So they changed it up and added a new rule called the Child Status Protection Act that said that the time that an I-130 petition is pending could be subtracted from the age of that foreign person to keep them under 21. So let's say in this particular case, a person's child is like 19 and a half or 20 and a half, or just under 21. If that I-130 petition is filed before they're 21, and then while the case is pending to be approved, they go above the age 21, you can subtract the time it took for the I-130 to be decided from their age. So let's say they're 20 and a half, they filed I-130, it takes 2 years for the I-130 to be approved. By the time it's approved, the person is 22 and a half or something like that, if I'm doing my math right. You could subtract the 2 years from that age, and that pushes them under 21. Now that's the first step, that's the first calculation. But then you gotta seek to acquire within 1 year, try to then get the green card, which is by filing, adjustment of status from I-284, paying the MVC fees and submitting Form DS-260, and you lock in the person's age if the case is current at the time. It gets complicated. I talk to lawyers about this time that have difficulty understanding it, so it's a complex matter, unfortunately. But that's that, and you can probably get it. Rosemary asks, why isn't Vice President Harris, not the National plus minus National Guard, setting up tents and massively staffing triage applicants and court processing, plus expanding temporary accommodations stat in advance of the largest caravan? I don't know. I'm not involved in the administration. You need to contact your local congressperson, or I don't know. This is not the forum to ask questions like this. It's a political question that I've no thing on. So unfortunately, I can't help that. The situation board is a mess, but that's the way we're dealing with stuff right now. So, okay, I requested to talk with your lawyer. That's why they call. So Monsoon follows up. I requested to talk with the lawyer. I requested to talk with the lawyer, and that's why they call. Monsoon, you just getting the wrong firm, because the only way in our firm that you could talk with lawyers, first you got to email us and describe your immigration situation. And then if it's the kind of case we handle, we send you a link for a paid consultation. You schedule a link, pay a fee, and then we do a video consultation. So this thing that someone called you back or something like that, that's just not our firm. Unfortunately, whoever's talking with you is fraud. That's not going to be our firm. Don't communicate with that person. All right. So, this fraud issue that happen a lot. You got to be very careful. I mean, it's relatively easy to figure out if someone's really who they are with the lawyer. Our firm, one thing we do is we do video consultations. So you see us all on YouTube and Facebook and all these things. Then myself, Anya, or my new associate, Awais, who's been doing this for 15 years, he's going to be on the show, and you go to the website, jklaw.com, see that, and talk with them, see if it's really us. Because when you just talk by phone, then this fraud is easier to do. It should kind of be obvious. Check the person, talk with them, review their background, review the images, their video. It's a lot of people getting defrauded in this kind of stuff, not just myself, but anyone who has a presence on social media. It's an immigration lawyer. They make multiple TikTok accounts, YouTube accounts, Facebook accounts, impersonating that person, because there's so much media content, photos and videos and stuff of that person. I've even had people redo my website and then get cases like that. They redo my website, just change the email and the phone number. They get an email address that's close to mine, and then people reach out to them and they defraud them, take their money, and don't do anything. It's very sad, and it's a lot of work. I know I asked Facebook, I asked Google, take this down, take this down. Google will do it most of the time. Facebook doesn't give a damn, unfortunately, and just lets this fraud continue no matter how many times they complain and tell them that it's fraud. That's an unfortunate thing about the Facebook platform. Their bots don't care. TikTok's the same way. There's so many fraudulent accounts. If you put JK Law Firm in, you're going to see dozens of fake accounts for myself, and unfortunately, people reach out to these people and they get taken advantage of. I do want to announce our last winner, Arch AK. You're a raffle winner. If you're watching this still, please take a screenshot of where you're watching this and send an email with that screenshot, and we could get a video consultation to see what's going on in your case. Thank you so much for watching and participating. On Instagram, Molly follows up, is it safe to travel on 18 months extension for I-751 pending? I can't answer if it's safe for you to travel because I don't know the details of your case. But generally, if someone has a clean background, clean case, they haven't gotten RFE yet or something on the I-751, you usually can travel, but that's case specific. I don't know anything about you enough to be able to answer that. And even our free consultation, which we're doing, that's your raffle winner, I'm not going to be able to really answer that because I need to know, I need to review all your I-485 package, your I-751, potentially your M400. I need to go over your background, all this kind of stuff. It's just not going to happen. So that's that. That's that. So Monsoon follows up saying, so 15-minute free talk, she told me, you know, my associate, Anya, does get free consultation for 15 minutes to people that are Ukrainian or are dealing with the war in the Ukraine. But other than that, she's not going to be talking to you, and she probably wouldn't be calling you back. So Monsoon, email us and show us where you contacted us. But unless you're from Ukraine and you're dealing with the war, or you want a free video consultation through the live show, there's no 15-minute free talks that are available, and my associate wouldn't call you with that. That's going to be special for people who request it. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what's happening, but it's probably some sort of fraud. Check the number that called and you know, email my office with it or something like that. I don't know, but unfortunately, most likely that's not us. Molly follows up. Thank you for your time, sir. God bless you. See you next week. God bless you too, Molly. I appreciate it. Well, we reached the end of the show. It's already over. Well, thank you so much for joining, everybody. My answer says, yeah, so true, very rough indeed. Got you. God bless you. You know, we'll be back in the end next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, as always, to answer general education questions. If you're interested in scheduling a full consultation in the office, email us at info@jqqlaw.com. We'll take care of it there. God bless you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.